Hey everyone! So this time I'm bringing some content about Google Antigravity, which is the new agentic development platform from Google. So this here is the introduction blog post that they released a couple of weeks ago, and they also released this website, which is the official one. So we can take a look here because it has a lot of very cool stuff, and I have been testing this new platform for a couple of weeks, and I am enjoying a lot. So I think that you are probably going to enjoy it. So this is a welcoming video here, which is really cool as well.
Every breakthrough in model intelligence for coding encourages us to rethink what development should look like.
So we are going to get a little bit hands-on with this new platform, just get you started and understand the new concepts and really cool features that it brings to you. But we can take a look at here to have an overview of what it looks like. In its core, it's like an IDE, but with very good agentic features. So you can see here, it looks a lot like regular VS Code. So if you are already using VS Code, it will be an easy shift for you because it's very similar. But the cool thing is that it also has those agent features that I have been talking about. So you can see here, like the implementation plan of the agents that it's going to create of what we are trying to implement. It also has an integrated browser that I can implement the features, then open the browser, test them if it's a front-end implementation or something like this. The user can also provide feedback, being it on the implementation plan, on the code that the agent created, or also on images and content that the AI created. You can also comment them, change or request update to specific images or areas of the image, like we can do with Nana Banana model, something like this. And so overall, you can think of it as a AI IDE, but with new and interesting agentic features, especially given the different approach that Google used here for this new IDE. You can check here in the official website that it has some interesting use cases from some developers. Right now, it's only available for developers. The cool thing is that it has no charge right now, so you can use it for free. You can do your tests, and anytime soon, you will also have the enterprise organization usage. So this is probably coming up very soon as well. You can take a look here at this official website. It has a lot of interesting content. Another interesting thing that they did is that they also created this YouTube channel, Google Antigravity, so that they are producing a lot of really interesting and useful content here. I especially enjoyed this one, the beginner's guide. It gives you an overview and overall look of the Agentic platform, allowing you to get started with it, which will be something very similar to what I'm going to do here. So maybe this is something that you also could be interested into taking a look. So before we get hands-on and get started, I also wrote a blog post about it. So if you prefer the text version or something a little bit different, make sure to take a look. And now we can finally get started. So if I go here, I will first download it. In my case, I'm using macOS, Apple Silicon. So let's download it here. So the download is finished. We'll just finish the installation, and the setup is really easy. Okay, should be done. Awesome. So this is the starting page. As the application was already installed here, it already loaded all my preferences. But if this is your first time using the application, you will go through these steps which are listed here in the blog post. So you will have to download, do the authentication process, and then you select the theme, which could be light mode, dark mode, and a couple of other modes as well. Then you are going to select the workspace mode, which is, let's say, the level of agency that the platform will take on you. So you can use full agent mode, which is the agent-driven one, that the agent will run and execute a lot of commands by its own without prompting you, the user. Or you can select something a little bit more review-driven. So anytime that the agent is going to take an important decision or execute an important tool, this could be especially relevant if you're going to manage cost or keep the security as maximum as possible. But the recommended one is this agent-assisted development, which is if the executions, whatever the agent is trying to run, seems safe or seems trivial, it's going to run it, so you don't have to be prompted a lot, and the agent can do a lot of autonomous work as well. And this is the one that I selected for my current environment. So once we go back here, you can take a look that it's quite similar to VS Code, and we have a lot of options here. So I'm going to pick a specific project to work on. Okay, so you have here the regular panel similar to VS Code. Here is a agent chat that you can prompt the agent to do something, maybe ask questions about your repository, ask it to implement specific things like you would do on VS Code with Gemini Code Assist, which I also create a video, which I will link in the cards. But you can also have this view here, which is the agent manager. So if I go here, I will open this window, this second window here, which is the agent manager. So this is one of the very cool agentic features where I can just delegate tasks to my agent. So I can prompt it here to update the documentation, create tests, implement new features, do research, anything goes here. But okay, so that we can have a real idea of how it looks like, let's start with a specific project here. So the one that I picked was this project that I have done a couple of months ago, which is Neural Reels. Basically, it's an agentic framework that will generate short videos autonomously. So ideally, it would be generating Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube short videos based on prompt iterations with the user. At the time, the front end that I did was a very simple one that I used at Streamlit, so it doesn't look very good. So I think that maybe this could be a good feature to implement and update this old code that I have here so that I have a better, nice looking front-end interface. Okay, so what I will do is just to open that folder. Okay, so I can see all of my files here. Awesome. So for the regular IDE experience, what I can do is that I can just go here and you have the regular features. So you can do tab to do autocomplete and all of the really interesting AI features that you would have on other IDEs. But the really interesting one would be the agent manager that I can do here. Okay, so let's start here. You can see that the context is Neural Reels, which is the app that I have did. Okay, here in the panel, we have a few options, which is the conversation mode, planning your fast, depending on the kind of activity that I want to do. In my case, it will be a feature that's a little bit more complex. So I'm going to pick the planning one. And also we have different options for the model here. So we have two options for Gemini 3 Pro, also a few options for Claude, and also this GPT open source model one. Okay, so I will pick the Gemini 3 Pro one, which would probably is the best one. And right now, of course, since I'm using it as a developer, it's everything for free. Okay, so let's describe here what I want. So the idea is that the user will prompt the agent, and then it's going to think a little bit, create the artifacts. Okay, so let me increase it here. So what I think it's really interesting here about Antigravity compared to other agentic browsers is that they generate these artifacts that you can see here at the left panel. So what I did is that it's going to think a little bit and create some artifacts that I can review and even comment if I want to do. So this is the task list that is going to follow. And I can take a look here at the right panel. So artifacts, right now it's only the tasks. So it's following all of the tasks. I can see here. Right now it only listed the tasks. And as it goes, it will mark the tasks as it finished each one of them. We can see here that it's generating another artifact, which this time is the implementation plan. Right now, everything is looking quite good. We can also take a look now at the implementation plan. So this is what the agent is aiming to do. So I can take a look here and evaluate if it looks good. Another cool thing is that the user can provide some feedback. Okay, so right now it's going to put everything here. If I don't want at the front end, I can just, use a different folder, and I could just put anything here, front end UI. I'm not going to do it because front end is actually what I wanted to be called. because it's a folder that already exists. But we can take a look here. Okay, so the implementation plan is this. We can review. It's probably going to use JavaScript and everything else, which is what I had in mind as well. Awesome. Let's go back to the tasks. So it's almost done now, so only the last one. And it's also creating one of the last artifacts, which is the walkthrough. Awesome. So this is the walkthrough. Basically, now that I've finished all the implementation, it generates this file, which I can see. It's mentioning what it has done. Okay, this should be the commands to test the new front end. Okay, let's see if it makes sense. I will start the backend. I will also create another terminal to start the front end. Okay, so it's looking quite good. So for you to have an idea, this is how it looked like with Streamlit. Now this is the new one with JavaScript. You can see that it looks very similar. So it probably try to mimic the old UI. And of course, I could just come back here and ask it to modify a little bit. Okay, before I actually test it, let me try to change it a little bit. So I will go back here and ask it to create an image. And this is more or less the idea of this agentic behavior. So it did the first implementation. Maybe I just need to go a little back and forth with the agent to refine. Of course, I could just close this conversation and just start a new plan. Also could be the case. Well, let's go back here. So this one is running. So we can already see that I have the workspaces here, things that are running. If I go back to the inbox, I can see all of the agent runs that I did. This was a test that I did some time ago, and this is the one that's running. So something that you can already see is that I can just run multiple tasks in parallel, which I will do in a minute, just once I finish it here. So what I did is that it created this nice image. It used, you can see, Nano Banana. If I wanted, I could just put a comment here. So I can add this comment, and it can just, so this is the review, right? So I can just keep adding more and more reviews as I wanted. But I added a review. Let's submit the review, and it will just iterate a little bit more. So also on the artifacts panel here, you can see that I generated this image I can review. So awesome. So it's basically like I'm using Nano Banana. So it updated given my prompt, my feedback, and it's looking quite good. So you can see the cover image here. It's already looking quite good. And basically the idea of this application is that I will prompt the agent to create a short video for me. So yeah, I'm not going to run it here because it's not the point of this video, just trying to use Antigravity. But the other cool feature that I wanted to show is that you can run tasks in parallel. As you can see, I can go back here to my inbox, and something really interesting is that I could run multiple tasks for this project, the narrow real ones, but then I can just switch to another project and also ask features for it. So in this case here, I was asking the agent to update README, and maybe this is something that I can do here as well. So awesome. So while it's working on this task, something that could be a very interesting feature is just to use the YouTube API to, as soon as I generate a new short video, I will just upload it programmatically. So let me ask it here to do some research about it. Awesome. So if I go back to my inbox here, you can see that I have the 2 tasks running. And this is the other one that is idle because it's already finished, right? If I wanted, I can just go back here and iterate a little bit more with the agents, but then I have the 2 of them running here, right? So here it's going to generate the same things again. So it creates the implementation plan of how it's going to update the README page. It creates the tasks. In this case, it was a short task, so it was quite fast. And I can see here the code changes that it did to my README page. So for the walkthrough, you can see the final result that it's doing here. I can just add a review if I wanted to change something. And if I go to the research YouTube API, let's see here, it's doing the same thing again. So in this case, it's taking a little bit more time since it needs to browse the web and take the relevant content and then create an implementation plan and everything else here. Another cool thing that I wanted to show is that this Antigravity API, it also has integrated browsers. So if I change something, it can just create code, update the code, and then test it to see if it's actually working. So hopefully this is going to work and achieve what I want here. So it asked me to set up the browser here since I did not give it permissions yet. So let's do it. So it's opening the browser. I need to install this extension. Let's add it. Awesome. So as you can see, the agent opened this browser and it has the blue border. It means that the agent is working on it. So it's already starting some back and forth with the application here, and it's testing the app basically. So this app is quite simple, but if it has more complex, I could just ask it to test all of the features, like starting a new session, iterating and create a new, I don't know, story about vampires or something like this, and it would be working. In my case, this should be enough. So I can just stop it. So, okay, as it was testing and opening everything, it creates these screenshots. So you can see that this is one here. It has another one here as it was talking with the application, and it also generates a playback. Let's open here. Okay, yeah, this is basically a video that is working, right? So it works quite well. So the idea is that sometimes we use agents and AI just to do some specific piece of code, and as it's not able to test what it just built, it just hallucinates and it creates code that's not runnable or does not work. So the idea is that if you ask your agent to create a specific UI that is able to do specific things, it would create that UI, then it would go ahead, test it as it's doing here. If it sees and it notices that something is not working as expected, then it will go back and update it and try to fix it. This way, just creating some piece of code that actually works. So this is basically what I wanted to show. This new IDE is really good. I'm especially excited about this agent manager that you can delegate a lot of tasks. And as the agent gets more and more capable, although Gemini 3 Pro is already very, very good, the agents are only getting better, right? So having an IDE that allows you to plug these agents and get the work done, optimize your developer experience and workflow, it's really, really good, really interesting. And if you're only looking for an IDE that is able to do regular work like VS Code, you also have this option as well. So I think overall, this is a very good option, especially if you're using VS Code. It should be a very simple shift. But if in any case, I think it's worth it your time for you to take a look. Since everything is free, you can just experiment a little bit, see if it works, if it fits your needs. And if you have some feedback, make sure to give it to the team because they are eager to keep improving it. So this was it for now, and I hope you to see you in the next one.